Anyway, y'all, hi, good evening. My name is Jasmine Locke. I am an educator at Westview High School in the Beaverton School District. And y'all, to say that I am honored to be sitting up here with a group of students that I am next to is an understatement, truly. So first and foremost, y'all, I know that the students up here are excited, but equally as nervous as they are excited. So just y'all take a deep breath, and truly, y'all, thank you so much, because I know that each and every one of you has so much going on in your own personal lives and with school and jobs and all the things, and to make time to be here to honor all of us with your voices and genius means more than we can say. So thank you, thank you. Oh yeah, yes, y'all. Yes, thank you. So before we jump into our first official question for our student panel this evening, I would love for our students up front to go through and introduce themselves. So I'll pass it to Grace first. We'll maybe go this way and then we'll move back around that way.
Just our name?
Yeah.
Sure, okay. I'm Grace Fast, a senior at Westview.
I'm Olivia Hurdle. I'm a senior at Westview.
I'm Reggie Tattoo, and I am a sophomore at Westview.
I'm Philson Omer, and I'm a sophomore at Westview.
That one's okay. Great. We'll pass, y'all. That's okay. That's okay. We got it.
I'm Sarah Maudsley, and I'm a senior at Westview.
I'm so sorry. I'm Sid Jockers. My pronouns are they, she, and I am also a senior at Westview.
My name is Bakia. I'm a senior at Bakia Kadir, and I'm a senior at Westview.
Awesome, y'all. So our amazing panel here for us today. So I'm going to go ahead and start us off with our first question. I think this might be on, but I'll use this too. Awesome, y'all. Our first question for this evening, which I know I'm very excited about, hearing all of your voices. Our first question is, how can you talk about ways in which you're using your voice and experiences to impact your local school and community? So I don't know who would like to start us off. Sure.
I know that everyone here uses their voice very differently and in impactful ways. Personally, I like to remind students, especially underclassmen who are just arriving at Westview, that they're not powerless in any situations. Because a lot of the times, students feel like teachers, administration, they have all the power, that they're intimidated, and they feel like they don't have any say in what's going on in their school or their community. And just reminding them that they have a say because it is their space, their community, is really important to me.
It's on. It's not on. Oh. I agree with Sarah about just letting people know that they have a voice in our community, and if they are not, I don't know, comfortable using their voice, I like to, with their permission, of course, speak up for them to teachers that might say something that's disrespectful, or administrators or other students, just to heighten their voice so they're not gone unheard.
In terms of ways that we at Westview use our voices and experiences, something I want to talk about is our group at Westview called SAFE, which stands for Students Advocates for Equity, which was started mostly a mix of the Black Student Union and the race and ethnic studies class, where it originally started as forms for students to fill out times that they feel like they might have experienced implicit bias in the school environment, and it kind of just grew from there into ways that we can try and make the community more safe and welcoming for not just people of color, but just minorities in general, to speak out against other students, teachers, or staff that might be doing things either consciously or subconsciously that can cause hurt in those communities. And I feel like stuff like that, while can seem really small, can really make a big difference and make the school community just feel a lot more welcome and opening.
To add to that, I feel like it's very important to add your voice to certain situations, even though you feel like your voice not may not be heard. even though that may be the issue. For example, for me, I'm a person of color, so my input is really like important, even though I think that it might not make a difference in a situation. I think that it's my responsibility as like a person of color and a person in the Black community to take action in a certain situation, even though it doesn't involve me. Because if I don't stand up for my people, then who will?
Anything to add? That's A-OK. Grace, did you have anything that you wanted to add?
Adding on to the amazing communities that we have at Westview, like BSU, and that are safe. I am a part of our student government class, and I have the outlet through social media and have the privilege to be able to get to reach our students through that. And I've been actively trying to for the past year to push out resources and here's what you can do and how to be an advocate, and our people of color and our students of color are being oh my gosh, marginalized against even here in our school. So what can we do about that, and not just using our social media as a student government class to be like, hey, we have a football game on Saturday. Yes, we still need to do that, but if we have this social media platform that reaches all of our school, we should be able to use that to talk about important issues. And I've been trying to do that for the past year, and I hope it's starting to work, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I love it. Taking the direction, shifting that conversation, right? And all of you mentioned some specific examples like clubs or activities, but also the social media platforms, right? We know, again, y'all, as a teacher in the classroom and those educators that raised your hands, I think you know the struggle of technology lately. So being able to push platforms and really reach our students in a way that is accessible to all is a way that we can really start to shift and make sure and shift our classrooms and educational spaces to be spaces that are inviting and welcoming and offer belonging and affirmation to all of our students that walk through those doors. I'm so sorry, folks. I didn't know if there was any other thought on that first question. No? No worries, y'all. Beautiful. So we'll jump to our next question for all of you folks, which is, what are your thoughts on whether or not different students experience success as defined by education? And so we talked about some different ways that success is defined by education. So with grades, looking at assessments, GPAs, etc. Do we think that students experience success in the same ways in our school settings?
Well, I could start it off. We were talking about it earlier, but I definitely think that all students experience classes, grades, their school careers in totally different ways, especially because they might be doing extracurriculars, working a job or more than one job, and their experience inside the class may be affected by what's going outside the class, and you just can't see that as a teacher unless you're getting to know each of those individual students. And I personally knew someone who was working 2 jobs to support her family, and it affected her class life and it affected her GPA and her class grades because she had to sleep during class. She had to work on homework during those classes because that's the only time that she could, because she had to support her family. And there are hundreds of students like that because we just are giving them too much work outside of school, or we don't have the resources, or they are having to do things like that to support their family at such a young age. And I definitely feel like a lot of students have the same experience like that.
I feel like I could add something to this conversation. When I was in elementary school, I got put in the Talented and Gifted program, and then when I went into middle school, I got put in the SUMA program, which is pretty much a step up from that. So I've been in regular classes and I've been in advanced classes, and I have a perspective on both. And what I can say is that I feel like there are so many teachers that don't understand. You'll hear about teachers saying to students, oh, we're people too. But I feel like teachers have a problem with seeing students as just that and not understanding that students as well have their lives outside of school. And as someone who has succeeded in the SUMO program and has also failed in the SUMO program, I can say that the way that school defines success is not it's not a very good motivator. It's a motivator to want to please others, but not to take care of yourself. And I feel like we need to have a school system that learns to put our like success in school to get like the tools that we need in the future, just as high as it should place our physical and our mental and our emotional well-being. Because I've seen so many people who are in similar situations as me, like burn out so fast because of the way that the school system treats us, and also the way that it just almost like pit us against people who are in regular classes. And I guess I would like to say that I don't think it's right how we created like hierarchies in education when we should all be trying to build people up to the same level and get everyone to have the same level of education, because education shouldn't be ranked when we're all different and impossible to put into separate boxes.
To what Grace and Red said, I think also it's important to, I guess, realize that different students learn different ways. What works for one student might not work for another student. And I feel like oftentimes in school and like with teachers, the way that we teach our curriculum is very much just like on like one little path. And I think it's really important to see that sometimes a student might not do the best on a test, but they might actually understand what's going on in class. And I think it's really important just to really realize, I guess, the spectrum of the students that you have in your school.
Oh, that's forward. I have like totally different perspective on this, but I am trying to go into teaching, and so I've been taking a lot of classes in high school that like teach. Sarah also has done this, but I work in the preschool at Westview, and I'm also in like a cadet teaching class. So I also go into the Rock Creek Elementary, and I also teach little third graders for my class. And I think that that experience has given me a lot of knowledge about what it's like to learn how to be a teacher and to keep learning as a teacher, and to make sure that like I cater to all students and not just like a specific kind who knows what to do. If that makes any sense. And I also think that knowing and learning like how teaching works, and also the aspect of how to become a teacher. Whoa. By the way, it's a lot, so respect them. But I'm just saying that I think that that knowledge as also as a young teacher has also created an environment for me at which to like learn how to teach all, as what they were saying and as what everyone else here has been saying, of making sure that we cater to all students, not just one student, and cater to a learning style and all learning styles and not just one learning style. We've learned a lot about learning styles and things like that. And I think that this, going back to the question, is just like success and grades and GPAs and all that fun but not so fun stuff, and like is just not what we should be like giving the standard to students, because there's a lot more like smart things to know than just like, did you pass your math test? Because like, I mean, we all grow up and we all become smart beings and like all that. And I don't think anyone in this room is going to look back at their junior year Unit 3 math test and say, well, that's why I'm smart. It's the experiences you go through. It's the people you like me. It's like those experiences what teach you how to be smart. And I think that if we implement people and high schoolers and middle schoolers and elementary schools, like knowing that when they're learning and knowing that's how you measure like, oh, like your education field is where we're going to get like the change of people being more confident in themselves, people having better self-education, self-esteem, and knowing that like your value is not based on your grade, not your value isn't based on your GPA. It's based on how kind are you to people, how accepting are you of people, like, and being a kind, well-rounded person is how we should like demonstrate education, and not just your math grade in your junior year, Unit 3, if that makes any sense. Anyways.
Okay. Okay, so I feel like me personally, as a person who lived in 3 different continents, I feel like success is defined by your accomplishments instead of like, it shouldn't be defined by just like, as like Sydney said, it shouldn't be defined by like what grades you got on your test. It's more of like a personal accomplishment that you're proud of. Um, and success is wait, I forgot what I said. I'm so sorry. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Okay, sorry. Okay, so I feel like it's like a journey of like life, and my mom always uses this analogy that like helps me put things into perspective. Like different situations that you're put in is kind of like your toolbox in life. So like for example, each place you go to, you get like a new tool, and that tool is like a skill that you learned, and you carry that toolbox with you in life that'll like help you in your future journey and will help you grow from it. And I think that that's like the true success.
I feel like as a society, we view success as a very black and white term. There's one way that you can succeed in life, and that is is predetermined for you by your education system or whatever. We put so much pressure on GPAs from such a young age at children because you have to get a good GPA to get scholarships for college. You have to get good grades in middle school if you want to be able to have the education level for high school, if you want to have good classes. Same with elementary school. So putting a pressure of your entire life, your career, your scholarships, your college experience on a 6-year-old in kindergarten isn't gonna help you. If we define success as something that is only given by what other people measure or the highest level of achievement, we are not going to get anywhere in life. Success can be anything. A small achievement is still an achievement. People who, I suck at math, if my dad knows this. But like, for me, when I get a problem right in math, that is a huge achievement for me. It may not be me getting a 4.0 in math, but to me, that is everything. That is success. And success cannot be defined as a general statement. It needs to be individualized because everyone can find success in who they are, in where they are. It doesn't have to be meaning perfect.
So I would say that education cannot be a one size fits all kind of thing because you have students with learning disabilities and mental health issues and just things that are like going on where they need flexibility. And you also can't define their success with numbers because we are so much more than numbers. And I mean, like, honestly, I'm applying to colleges right now and I'm worried about like my GPA because it's not perfect. But what makes me feel better is because I know people at my school who know me very well, who are teachers and counselors, and they can write letters of recommendation. And I feel like that's how you should, I mean, define success. It's what people around you think of you, and it's not a numbers game.
I wanted to tie into what was said about GPA and stuff, and also about success. So the GPA thing, I've noticed that like with GPA and like getting into colleges. So when I hear people say like you won't be able to get into this GPA because you have into this college. Oh my god, you won't be able to get into this college because you have a low GPA. And then if you ask why, they'll be like, oh, well, you're taking up space where people with higher GPAs could go. And to me, that always sounded like you are taking up space for people that are more valuable than you based on how they did on on tests. And to put value on a piece of paper it just sounds ridiculous, right? It doesn't make any sense to that what we're able to do in our life should be restricted by a dead tree. Um, and as we were saying about success and stuff, about how success isn't just about success isn't a state of being. It's not like, you see like actors, for example, they're rich, they have this luxury stuff or whatever, and you say, oh, they're successful. That's like making success into a state of being in a certain place, when you can be successful without being like that. As long as I feel like success should be defined by yourself, like what is success to you, like what makes you feel like whole and complete, and not just what people say is like the standard of success.
To add on to what Red said, I feel like success is like personal goals you have in life that you've just like achieved, and that makes you feel very like wholesome and proud of yourself. And it shouldn't be defined by other people's standards of what they think success is. It's like a personal achievement that you feel like an inner satisfaction with yourself.
I just wanted to add a quick thing about COVID and how it hit us like a semi truck. But one thing that I really loved that came out of that was things that colleges have adapted. And one thing specifically is they are taking away the necessity for SAT and ACT scores being needed, because going off of the test takers and not being good at that is me. I suck at taking tests. I don't know what it is, but I sit down and I can't take a test. I could know everything about what we're learning, but I can't take a test to save my life. Anyway, I love that is where we're headed, that a student is not being defined by a set of numbers, and they are looking at us as a whole person and as our letters of recommendation and as who our teachers and our like coordinators and our previous employers are putting forth about us, because numbers don't define who we are. Grades shouldn't define who we are, because that does not define our successes, because again, they're numbers on a piece of paper or on a computer. We aren't numbers, we're human beings, and I'm very happy that colleges are starting to go in that route of seeing us as people and not a transcript.
Oh, of course. I also just want to bring light to the fact that our grading system was created by white, neurotypical men. This system was not built for us.
Mic drop it right there. I almost mic dropped it right there, folks. That's a wrap. Wrap it up. No, beautiful. Y'all. Woo, I could sit up here and talk to y'all forever. I can't believe we only got through 2 of those questions, but amazing, amazing insight. And one thing that I'm sitting with y'all is, even as an educator myself, I'm hearing loud and clear from our students that what they need is they need us to see them as full people, as full humans. How are we humanizing spaces that are not meant for every human? So how are we decolonizing? How are we looking out for curriculum violence? And how are we centering student voice in all of the things that we do? So truly, y'all, thank you so much for your time, energy, and engagement. My students up here, I thank you. I love you dearly. Thank you for your time this evening. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Grant. Thank you so much, folks. Thank you, and students, thank you.